Hey everybody, it's Tafony here once again. Hope you're doing well. So I posted that video about how I'm able to cover so many different modules in different videos, and I got a bunch of questions about older modules and older videos, if I kept them, if I felt differently about them now, and so on. So I figured let's go through it in two different videos. I'm going to do the first 100 in the first video and then up to the present in the second video. So let's just dive into it. I'm going to go through module by module, video by video, give the quick one sentence, super brief, run through it all real quick here. Use the speed controls below if it's too fast or too slow. And if you have any questions about specific modules, send me an email, join the Discord. Okay, without further ado, let's just jump right into episode 1, the Cosmotronic Cosmix Pro. I have a lot of thoughts on Eurorack mixers and how none of them are perfect, but the issue with the Cosmix Pro for me was that the effects send only goes like half wet. You can't do like sub-mixing, and I wanted to send all of my drums completely wet out into like the compressor to effects to the data bender specifically. I don't want to send it half wet and leave sort of half dry in the mix and mix. Anyway, that is the reason why that was sold. And then currently I've been through a lot of different mixers and options, but currently Steady State Fate Vortices Hi-Fi is the one, at least for the moment, until a perfect solution comes along, which may never happen. WMD Overseer, I use it to death. I absolutely love it. That might be a desert island module for me. I use it so much that the cutoff knob on mine is starting to wear out and get like really wiggly, which is kind of concerning, but just speaks to how much I use it. Pro Crate, the screen on mine actually broke. So I have no idea why or what happened, but it started having like crazy scan lines on the screen almost. And then so I emailed them and asked them if there was a way to fix it or what had happened. And they just said, oh, it happens sometimes, whatever. They were super helpful, super nice. They just sent me a whole new module. I had to pay import duties on it, but they let me keep the old one, which is like still kind of usable, but the screen was like busted, so I still have them, and yeah, still use it time to time. Game Changer Audio Plasma Voices. I know I got some messages from something I was selling on Reverb. Somebody messaged me and like, oh, you're that guy with the 2 plasma voices. And I'll say, one, I don't think 2 plasma voices actually goes well with each other. They have a really distinct sound, which I really like, but 2 of them, I don't know, it kind of clashes. It just isn't, it's easy to tune, but it's just not like, I don't know, you don't need 2 of those sounds. And there's a very distinct filter and envelope is the reason why I got rid of both of them eventually. But 2 of them, I don't know, they're awesome, and I'd really like to use them as an oscillator too, but I'm worried that that vacuum tube that's on there is going to burn out. So if you use an oscillator mode, it's just going to constantly be on while your rack's on, I assume, right? So I don't know. I love wavetables. I love that module, but we'll come back to it someday, I'm sure. Steady State Fate, Steady State Gate. I also had 2 of those at one point and found that they really clash with each other, but I absolutely love that module. That might be, I don't know if that's a desert island one or not, but Performer definitely is. I use that in every patch too. It's awesome. Nobody talks about Performer for some reason, but sometimes I consider getting a second one to run just the drum bus through. I love that freaking thing. Multi-effects modules, and I don't mean multiple effects. I mean modules that can do multiple effects like the Performer. Awesome. The Ghost. Awesome. Exile Drail. I really like that thing. It's the crazy bit-crushing CPU clock control over CV thing by Exile. I think I borrowed it for the video and then bought it after, but the mono, like I wanted to run my end of mixes through that, but the mono input kind of kills that for me, right? So yeah, I ended up selling that one. Erica Synth's Pico voice, still have it, still really like it. I don't use the Picos very much in a huge system. I think I just like their size doesn't dominate enough real estate to get used as much, but use them in the smaller system. I'll talk about them because there's a whole bunch of Pico videos coming up here, so I'll talk about those in a second. Pico Drum 2, I really like that thing. Like, sometimes I was like considering getting a whole bunch of them, but I don't know. I also never reach for it in the big system next to other drum options, so it has a shift function that's also kind of clunky and not a lot of CV control, so ended up selling that one. What I do regret selling though is the Pico Low Pass Gate. That thing is like awesome. Nobody ever talks about the Pico Low Pass Gate. It's like a real Vectral 3 HP Low Pass Gate, and it's awesome. I don't know, but then I sold mine too, so what can I say? I think I had that was when I got the 2 Steady State Fate gates, I think. I don't know. Pico DSP I still have. I wish it was stereo in, not just stereo out, but never hurts to have effects like that around. It was awesome. The Rabbit Elephant Natural Gate, speaking of 2 low pass gates, Mario lent me that one for the video, and I remember thinking that while I was shooting it, I was like, you know what, it's nice, but it's not as good as the Steady State Fate Steady State Gate. I hope I don't have to say that anymore. When I was editing it, even not even like going back to it, even like while I was editing it immediately after, I was like, this sounds really good. Why didn't it sound so good in my headphones? And I was like wondering if that was something to do with my setup or something. But I remember like while I was using it, I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's not like $800 good. But then when I was listening to it after, I'm like, oh, maybe it is. 3-tom was another one that Mariusz lent me, the Steve's MS-22. That thing was awesome. Great stereo filter, like the MS-20 filter. Anyway, super compact, for better or for worse. Save space, but obviously it's pretty cramped. Cat keyboard I'll talk about in a moment. Blue Lantern modular vintage asteroid kick drum, that 808 clone. It was the cheapest chips and it's fun, and I still have it. Guillotine, same thing. I don't know about cheapest chips, but still have it, even though I don't have a €1 set up in the case right now. That thing is awesome. Squid sample, awesome sampler, lots of fun to sample in. Actually, I'd say of all of the samplers for sampling in, it's like no frill, single button to record. I really like that about it, but I don't know, I just wish there was more screen. I feel like when it comes to samplers, just like the more screen the better, and I know people have very polarized opinions about screens, but for me, more screen the better, at least in samplers, or especially in samplers. I feel that about most things, but Qubit Data Bender might be Desert Island module for me. I absolutely adore that thing. I would never sell it unless I was leaving Eurorack completely. Probably the same story for the Desmodus Versio. That's probably my next. Only to Star Lab have I heard better sounds out of Reverb, but Desmodus is mine and a lot cheaper and a lot smaller, so I'm happy with that. Polyon Tracker Plus, I think they actually fixed a lot of the things I complained about in that video, but this is going to come up a couple times in this video. I'm just going to say desktop synths in general, I'm trying to get away from. I just like they're great and super powerful, and I love watching Instagram stuff of people doing awesome DAW-less tracker jams, and I want an M8 and all that stuff, but I'm also just like, I get those things and I never use them. I just like, this is where I want to be, and then everything else I just like never use. So I still have a lot of them, not the Tracker Plus, but I'm just going to give you that summary now, and we'll be saying that a couple times, I promise. So you'll hear it again. The WMD Crater, I think Mariusz was lending me this, but I did own it at a time as well. It's a nice kick, but nothing can beat the Ultra kick, and I think I actually owned it when the battering ram came out, and I sold it for the battering ram, if I am remembering that correctly. The WMD Legion is probably the best analog oscillator I've heard. At least that swarm output was just absolutely phenomenal, but this was a loan from Mariusz, so hopefully one day I can acquire one. Zcall Dimension Mark III. I really like that thing. It's really powerful, but menu diviness is a little bit of a thing, and my own laziness, I never wanted to use it with MIDI. I always want to do CV gates, and I know it can do so much more with MIDI and polyphony, and has onboard filters and stuff, and they made improvements to it over firmware. I think in that video I was concerned about them being around anymore because their Instagram got shut down and stuff, or disappeared or what have you, but I think they're back, and I think they're still supporting it, but I sold it to fund a Piston Honda because Piston Honda is another Desert Island one. Don't ever let me sell my Piston Honda again. WMD Geiger counter was one that Mariusz lent me. I really like that one. Really wish I had one. Really wish it was stereo too, actually. But hey, it's awesome. Little Mikey, you're not hearing right now, but I use it in nearly every patch. Mine seems to like shut itself off for some reason, but it's the most gain of any XLR in, and for this weird headset, I need as much gain as I can. I think you're supposed to actually use with a preamp, but I don't have a preamp other than the little Mikey. Qubit Nebulae, I loved making that video. I loved some of the sounds that come out of it. I love some of the Morphogene but better sort of ness of it, but the button combos, man, like I really loved making the video, and then if you like, at least for me, if I blink away, then it's like completely gone from my memory. You gotta like that. If ever there was a module that begged for a screen, it would be the Nebulae, and it's such a shame because it's such an awesome module, but just like I can't remember all of that stuff, so I sold it. The Meowsic Cat keyboard, of course I still have it. It's the greatest instrument ever manufactured. If there ever was, if I had to sell everything in this setup, I would keep the Meowsic Cat keyboard on my Desert Island with me. Angle Grinder Mariusz lent me. I really liked it. I think I didn't even really understand wavefolding when I made that video like I do now, at least, but Wish I had one someday. I'll get it. Mutable instruments beads. I think in that video I actually found the like granular sound that I'm looking for, and going back and watching it, I'm like, I think I just want shimmer reverb. I think granular isn't for me. But beads is probably, well, that and Mojave. Really nice granular modules. I just don't know if granular's for me, and that seems to be a reoccurring theme with a lot of people. I talk about them. It's like, well, I've tried all of them, and I just like, I don't know if it's what I'm after, and that's okay. WMD Subway is another one Mariusz lent me, as was Le Brazier. Those things are both awesome. I have his Le Couture now, but hopefully someday I'll get Le Brazier. Same for the Assimilator, was a loan from Mariusz. I like that thing a lot, and I see some used ones have come up, and I'm like, I don't know, should I go away from the bit boxes? I really like my bit boxes. I don't know. I know Assimilator can do crazy things like 30 FM, I believe, over your own samples and stuff, like crazy stuff, but I'm also like, am I ever going to get to use that, or am I just going to like avoid it because it's too complicated? I don't know. But no Assimilator in the future for now. But what I am considering is the soundstage that Mariusz lent me for that video. I have some things about that I'm like, oh, you can't do like submixes, right? Because I want to do drums, but am I going to have to pre-mix my drums before I send them into the soundstage? If so, I'm going to need mutes, I'm going to need attenuation, I'm going to need effects settings to make that happen in some way. So I'm kind of humming and hawing it, but there is a used one, probably the one that's in that video actually, and I think Mariusz is selling, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Strymon Starlab, probably the best sounding reverb in the rack, but it's also huge and incredibly expensive, but probably sounds the best. I'll just say on the Winter Plankton Zaps, I never did a video on that before I sold it. I really liked it, but I found it was kind of like a challenging, like the menu layout was kind of weird, and it had like, I want to say like syncussion sensibilities where it was all about like per step parameter locking almost. Like in my setup, I have all these different drum voices, and the Zaps kind of wants to be your whole drum kit. Like every step, you'll just modulate the crap out of it into a different sound. You know what I mean? And I think that's just like not where I'm working from, if that makes sense. Like I'm very electron brained in that sense. So never did a Zaps video, which I kind of regret, especially now they're going out of business, but we'll see. It might come around. You never know. Boardbrain EQ X5, awesome EQ module, but I kind of want 5 of them, to be honest. I think that was like my thing with it, though, is like, I really like this. I want to put this on every voice, but different, right? So, like I said, mixing is always a struggle in Eurorack, as is the Golden Master. It just had too much noise for, like, I think that Golden Master is awesome for like a mini case that you're taking to jam out and stuff, but in my setup at that time, it was like too much. I have so much issues with noise with my rig. If you start bringing in things like Golden Master that have like threshold issues, it just becomes this like, I don't know, snowball of noise. So sold that one. Black Noir I think is great. I think it's kind of funny that they market it in the manual and stuff as being like dark wave or like super gothic and stuff, and to me it sounds like so hip hop. Like it sounds like, I don't know, I feel it makes me want to listen to like EPMD when I was jamming on it, and I like that, but I don't make those sounds. I make like industrial stuff. So it's awesome. I really love that filter on both that and the Queen of Pentacles, which is in this list later, but I just like, I don't know, there's something that wasn't quite for me. The sounds, and that's based off a Roland machine, so I can't fault them for that. Ericsson's Black Joystick 2, I still have it here. I never use it for some reason. I don't know why. I just like thought it'd be awesome to demo, but still have it. Autodyne I still have. I'm using it for the drums now. I was using it for my mic, but again, there's kind of noise issues going on, so I took it out of there. I think because it's drum focused, or it's not really for compressing voice, which is kind of why it's boosting noise, which is fine. I've moved it out of there. 100 Grit, Mariusz lent me this one, although I've owned it a couple times on my own. I really, really like it, and hate it sometimes too. I feel like with the 100 Grit, I don't know if it's just me and I need to revisit it, but like every time I picked it up, I was just like either loving it or couldn't get what I wanted out of it. And it could do perfect ladder filter sounds. Like it was an excellent, like non-aggressive ladder filter. Well, non-aggressive is relative, but like and then amazing distortion other times too. But then like just the sweet spots I just found, like I didn't know what was going on enough to make it happen. And I would love to revisit 100 grit again, because some of those, I don't know. It's also mono, I think, is the thing too. Like I want to use that filter at the end of the chain, right? I want to distort my whole mix. I want to distort the whole drum bus. I want to filter that, and mono. That's another complaint that's probably going to come up a lot. What I said earlier about desktop boxes, grandmother's awesome, but it's just too much room. Like I never play stuff like that. I love that thing. It sounds really special, and it was a lot of fun, but there's no room. Erica Sin's snare, awesome. I sold it when I got the Entity perk. I don't know, you can't go wrong with any of those Erica Synth drum modules, in my opinion. Neither that or especially the cymbals, which is a sample-based cymbal thing, which I sold when I got the Chimera, or one of the WMD ones, I think, and instantly regretted it, and bought it again, and it has returned. So not the one in that video, but a different one. So, Archer's Rig, really interesting one, at least for this video that we're making at this moment. Awesome sounding, really clever button combos, but still button combos. So like, I remember doing that video, really loving how it sounds, really finding it really fun, really feeling like they did something clever with the menus, but then like having the big rig, and I just want hats, you know what I mean? And I know Archer's Rig can do so much more than that, but like, the button combos, the tiny screen, give us the proper screen. And I think on the new Shackmount stuff, they have the like big screen, their new snare module that's coming out. It has like a proper screen, like I don't know if it's OLED or not, but it has like a proper screen. So I'm like, oh man, I hope Archer's Rig comes back with that, because that would be phenomenal. Battering ram, also awesome kick. You can't go wrong with that one, but Ultra Kick is my favorite. Like, Ultra Kick is like my sound, and I remember the time selling the Ultra Kick to get the battering ram, and I thought it was great because I could save some HP because it was in a small case at the time, but you can't beat the Ultra Kick for me, so I really regretted that. Not because there's anything wrong with the battering ram. Battering ram is awesome, but Ultra Kick is just ultimately the best. Behringer RS9 Ultimate War in the comments from both sides. I always think that's hilarious. I said I'd never do another Behringer video, but I have been trying to do them regardless. But when the Metron came around, when Andrew Wong offered me a Metron for something, I traded that one because, I don't know. I really like the RS9, but I wouldn't take it over the Metron. Vert Iter Legio, I absolutely love it. I still have one. It's probably, I'd say, one of the most underrated oscillators in Eurorack. I think it's really special, but nobody ever talks about it. Anyway, it's the same software as is on the Micro Freak and Mini Freak, I guess, that Noise Engineering did. It sounds awesome. As that's like a chorus on board. It's killer. I'm preaching the gospel of the Vert. Instro Oct. I love the idea of so many LFOs, but clocked. Give us clocked. We want clocked. Well, I want clocked. Nobody. The Oct is like one of the most popular modules. Nobody cares what I have to say, but like, I wish it was clocked. Timp Legio I still have. I bought the faceplate pack, so expect a bunch of Legio videos in the future. Acid Rain Technology Chainsaw I sold when I got the Site. Remember the polyphony being kind of weirdly implemented, or at least there wasn't outputs for the individual voices. I'm excited for the new Rip Saw that's coming out. Maybe they can fix some of those issues. Here's an interesting one, the Winter Bloom Caster and Pogs. I really regret this one. I love that module so much. Somebody offered me a trade for it, and I remember thinking, I loved it so much, it was perfect. I could trade that one, pick up the V2 when one came up. So traded that one away that I love so much, and then Winter Bloom shut down, and I never got a V2, and now I'm hooped. So, yeah, Castor and Pollux was beautiful looking, beautiful sounding. Juno VCO, I wanted that V2, never, anyway, hopefully someday. Cubit Mojave, same thoughts as the Beads. I think it's an awesome one, but I just don't know if that sounds for me, so I traded it away. Nautilus was probably one of the first delays I ever meshed with. I always say, like, I'm a big reverb fan over delays, but Nautilus, I like some of the colors. Like, they let you get really nasty with it. It was really fun. Cubit Prism stereo filter, really wacky in some ways. I don't remember why I sold it. I remember liking it. something probably came up. Aurora, I think I wish I could go back to it and retry it, because I remember, like, I feel like that one is so dependent on pitch modulation that if you're not using it, you're not using it right. It had gain staging on board, which I never used, or I thought that was really bizarre. So, yeah, I don't know. Desmodus, I would never take over that still, but hey, it's a cool one. S1, see before about what I said about trying to avoid desktop synths, because I never use them and they take up so much space. We have Bafako stereo strip. I still have it, still great. I at the time thought I wanted to make my own Eurorack mixer, and I still kind of wish I went down that route. If you just bought like 6 stereo strips and made your entire own mixer with like a sum after, I think that was a good idea. I wish I pursued it more. 1010 Music Bitbox Micro I still have. I have the Macro, I guess, the full-sized V2 as well. Now I have both. Cosmotronic Messer compressor. People love that thing. It is too deep for me. I don't know, like, I think that video is also really bad if I remember correctly, but don't go back and confirm that. I don't know enough about compression to like understand it to that depth that module gives you the control for. I like the WMD compressor, which I am using now. It's just a stereo one knob for comp sort of thing. No threshold, no knee, no complicated things. Just, yeah. Voltage Block by Maleko. Had it here. I sold it at the time to pick something else up. I can't remember what. Regretted it immensely. That thing, rip Maleko, because they're awesome. Voltage Block I rebought. I love that thing. PAMS Pro, still have it. It is on clock duties only now because its LFO capabilities are kind of hidden, or at least they're not very immediate. But yeah, still have it. Mini Freak, again, awesome. I lust over that still. I think digital oscillators with analog filters is an awesome combo, but don't need desktop boxes. I do still have the Digitone 2, though. I'll just say real quick on the Electron front, I just want one Electron box. I don't want 6 Electron boxes. I don't want a wall of Electron boxes. I just want a groove box. I want to make entire tracks on one box. And the Digitone is the closest to that you can get. Obviously, they leave some stuff out to sell the rest of the line, but Digitone 2 is my favorite, and I am very imprinted by the Electron workflow. So Bagar, I still have it right here. I still really like it. Sauvage stuff is awesome. Facebook Marketplace goofs, they haven't traded me in yet, unfortunately. IntelliGel Plonk is awesome, but I feel like I was preset surfing with it, and I wasn't able to get out of preset surfing very much, so it's cool. I really like it, and IntelliGel module with the screen is awesome. Squarp Hermod Plus, I'm still using it, still my favorite sequencer. I've been trying to learn it more in depth here, but it's a bit of a challenge. I still know Eurorack sequencer is perfect, but Hermod is the closest, I think, in my opinion anyway. Or at least it's the best balanced. So Queen of Pentacles, I love that filter. I love the analog voices. I thought the sampling and the effect sections were really obtuse and hard to figure out and laid out. Mine also, the mutes didn't. Apparently, it's a problem on like most of them. The mutes all bleed. They don't like fully. I don't know. That one's tough. Like, love hate usually just means like you don't like it, but when I say love hate on that thing, there's like things I really like. That filter sounds phenomenal, and so did the analog voices, but then it's just like I don't want to deal with sample management on a drum thing. I want my whole row of drum modules, so I moved on. MC101 I still have. That thing like can make like super high fidelity full tracks like right in a single box. I think it's awesome. Model Cycles, also like super underrated. I think that thing's really cool. I sold it when I got a Syntact, and that kind of, I don't know if that was a bad choice or not, but I miss my Model Cycles more than I miss the Syntact. TB03, never use it, still have it. I should probably trade it for some Eurorack modules. NTS2, sold it when I got the Mordax Data, but the Mordax Data has a glossy finish, so it's like reflects all of the lights and everything. NTS2 had a matte finish, which was super easy to shoot, but now I'm vertical, and before at the time I was horizontal. Anyway, that's where I'm at. Qubit Surface, still have it, still love it. Let's keep moving here. LXR drum, I bought and sold that like twice in my Eurorack journey. I love it. I think it's awesome. Even if I preset surf a lot, I think it's worth preset surfing. It's a great one. Ground control, if you like XOX style, I think it's wonderful. If there's anything that's worth your attention for button combos, it's your sequencer probably, but using it as a secondary sequencer, I could never remember all the freaking button combos. That thing just begs for a screen, and so I sold it when I got the Metron. Mental Health, I haven't traded that in for a passive mult yet. SSF Ultra Kick is like an old-timer. That's a Desert Island one. Frap Tools Brenso, I think I said that in the video too. It is what sparked a journey for me on complex oscillators. It is the best sounding, I think, of all of them, but the worst interface of all of them. And I hate that purple. I hate those hieroglyphs. So I went through a whole bunch of different complex oscillators after that. ALM MFX, digital, stereo MFX, still have it, still good. Bufaco Pony VCO, awesome through 0FM. It's 1U though, so I sold it for the Patching Panda Operat, which if you find that through 0 oscillator comparison chart, I believe Operat was the only one that ticked every single row. It did every single through 0 analog oscillator thing, and I really regret selling it. That was really dumb. Let's keep moving up here. Qubit Bloom, still have, still love. I know they released a version 2 that's like $1 million, but still love my V1. Further Generator, awesome complex oscillator. I love complex oscillators, and that is no exception, but there's a whole bunch of them coming up here. Plan R2 was great. That was a loan from Mariusz. DPO was a loan from Jesse. It also sounds awesome. Very brittle in a nice way. I thought that was sick. Exile Manipulator, another controller that Mariusz lent me. It was a lot of fun, as is the Bella Gliss that was also a loan in the same batch. It was awesome. The Tip Top Audio Buchla quad low pass gate sounded pretty good. You know, that's a lot of value too for $500 to get 4 VCAs and filters essentially. That's pretty cool. CSL, probably that wavefolder is really special. Button combos are annoying. I think that's a reputation that Instro doesn't really have that it probably deserves. Their button combos are hard to remember, and CSL was kind of a victim of that. But that wavefolder was so special. It might be the best sounding one. Like it gave Brenso a run for its money, in my biased opinion. That's like super subjective, right? Everything is. I don't need to tell you that, but Loquelic is a digital complex oscillator, and it sounds absolutely rad. Still have it, of course. VicX, really popular video, really popular module. I loved it. Everyone's using them right now, but Krista Bourgeois offered me a trade, and I'm a huge Krista Bourgeois fan, so this is the Warp. That is Krista's Warp, and I traded that VicX, so I'll have to get another Vic someday, but yeah, well, I'm really excited for the Warp too. I always wanted a Warp. So WMD Crucible sounded awesome, but super deep, like super hard to, like, I remember not using it because it was like unapproachably complicated. Again, maybe a lot of these problems are up here. So same thing with Pastel Pizza. Like heard some amazing things with it, but I remember like button combos and like convoluted, for me, like 3-op FM through like button combo is just kind of too much for me. But check out Turbo Tambourine, has some amazing videos on that, and lots of people love the pizza. Hex Inverter Mind Phaser I use in nearly every patch, at least as an LFO. That SSF discontinued percussion synthesizer is also freaking rad. I use that so much. Wow, that was already half an hour for the first half. Okay, let's break this up into 2 parts. So, all right, thanks so much for watching. I'm Tafony. Look out for part 2. Take care, like, comment, subscribe, do all that crap that YouTube is always on my case about not promoting to you, and I'll see you in the next video.